Hello everyone, it's good to be here with you all. I'm really glad you're here, and I'm going to do something that I've never done before because I never had to do before. But I'm filming this on Friday. I have to say that because for whatever reason, someone where I work took it upon themselves to report me as doing YouTube stuff while I'm actually working, which of course couldn't be further from the truth. I make my videos at all sorts of times, as many of you know who already make videos. It is a several day process. You may make the video one day, you may edit it the next day, you may upload it another day, you may set it to upload on a different day. You may use a randomizer to upload it like TeleBuddy or TubeBuddy, excuse me. There are all sorts of things like that we on YouTube do, but someone assumed where I work that I was doing YouTube stuff while I'm working, which is absurd. First of all, I'm not a thief. I would never do that. I will tell you that it has really put a dent in my enjoyment of my job. This just happened yesterday. I really thought that I was thought better of, and for someone that is a character insult, assuming that I would do something that's criminal. Well, criminal's the wrong word, but certainly against any company policy. I do a lot of good work for my company. I assumed I was anyway. And I don't talk about where I work. I won't do that. I don't name names. But obviously, some people where I work are watching my videos, which I didn't invite them here. And if you're watching now, if you're that person, you're uninvited. I don't want you here. I can be forgiving, but I wish that person had come to me and said, "Hey, I saw you put up a new video. How are you able to do that while you work?" And I would have simply explained that I make videos in the mornings before I ever come to work. I make videos when I get off work sometimes. I make soap sometimes. I make soap on my days off. I do all sorts of things off the clock when I'm not at my job. And it's quite frankly none of anyone's business what I do in my personal life outside of that job. And for someone to make that assumption, so it was reported and I was spoken to about it, and it's really put a big dent in my enjoyment of the job. That's all I'll say about it. It's just one of those bad situations that I'm sure a lot of you may have had similar, maybe not in this regard, but other kind of situations where, something has happened on the job that has made you maybe not as happy as maybe you were. And I realize jobs aren't made to make us happy. They're made to make us a living, and we should just do our best. But after all the years I've been with this company, I just assumed that I was known better than that. And obviously someone thinks they know things about me that they don't know, or they don't like things about me that they do know, which is fine. We don't have to be liked by everyone, do we? Hang on, I just need to get a rag real quick. There we go. We don't all have to be liked or loved. It helps. I'm referring to on a job. It sure does help. It takes a lot of the stress off of the day to have people you get along with, and but there are people that hold weird little grudges and have personal picadillos that make it difficult sometimes. And this was just a slap in the face, and I'm venting to you all because you're such good listeners and you won't judge me. I'll take the judgment from the people at work, but it is a very odd kind of a situation. And that's all I'll say about that. I am so sorry to have started this video with that, but it kind of broke my heart, this scenario. And I mean that I was in tears yesterday because just the thought that somebody actually thought that and then reported it just really blew my mind. So anyway, that's my rant. So as I said, this is Friday, which is my day off. I'm off on Fridays and Saturdays. I work Sunday through Thursdays. And yeah, so I'll probably upload this tomorrow on Saturday. But right now I'm enjoying it. I needed to remake my Manuka Honey Oats. I have my lovely thick Manuka honey. Isn't that just beautiful? I just love Manuka honey, and I love eating it. It's hard for me to use it in a soap. I just want to eat it up. As you know, it's a little pricey too, but I think that it is such a great ingredient for soap. Any honey I think is lovely in soap, but why do I think Manuka honey is especially good? Because it makes the bubbliest darn soap I've ever seen. That's why. It adds great bubble to the soap. Honey is, of course, antibacterial. That's why honey has been found even in the tombs in Egypt that, you know, is still okay to eat. I wouldn't want to eat 2,000-year-old honey or however old it is. And colloidal oats, and this is going to be very rich in colloidal oats. Aren't those just lovely? Just beautiful. And no fragrance, and no, I may add a little color. I may give a little variation with a little cocoa powder just to give a little color variation. All right. Right, I'm going to add in our goat milk lye solution to our oils. This is going to be very full, as it always is when I make this batch. Right, let's go ahead and get this emulsified here real quick. Yeah, I spilled a little out the back there, didn't I? Just a tad. I'm not going to worry too much about it. Life is too short to cry over spilled soap. Right? Or should I say spilled goat milk. So, alrighty. So I'm going to separate out some. And instead of cocoa powder, I decided to go with a little black walnut powder. Not too much, just a little. Look what I just did. My state of mind is affecting my soaping. Okay, so I poured a little quick there. I'm not going to worry too much about it. I'm going to scrape this back into my bucket though. That won't go to waste. Isn't that funny? I said, don't cry over spilled soap. And then spilled some more. And you know what? I'm still not going to cry over it. Isn't that funny? My state of mind, it probably isn't where it should be, but this is still going to be a lovely, lovely soap. do a bit of a in the pot swirl here. Very carefully. Or maybe not. I'm not a drinker. Thank goodness. But one of my next videos you're going to see is I'm making a product for dads, and very similar to the brazen bison that I made recently, but I'm making yet another one that seemed like a lot of fun. I have some terrific ideas that I want to share with you all going forward, and I promise not to moan and gripe about work anymore. I just had to say something this one time, only because obviously somebody is monitoring. So I just wanted to say my piece, and I've said it. So I'm going to leave this to do its thing, and then we're going to cut it. All right, so they're ready to cut. Yes, they're very dark. And that's because I let it get very, very hot. Honey can get with milk, can really make your soap get really hot. But I think we got some really fun swirls out of it. Doesn't that almost look like a tiger stripe? That was just an accident. Okay. All right. Let's see what we've got here. They smell great with no scent added. Of course, that goat milk and that honey and the oats. I don't know. I love the natural smell. I truly do. And I think that it is pretty fantastic. And I again would like to apologize for the way this video started. Me ranting a bit about my work stuff, and that's not your problem. And I don't know. I tend to think of you. I don't know you folks, the way perhaps we know people that are very close to us in our lives, but over the years on this channel, I have talked to many of you here on the channel and read your comments. I can't always respond. There's just not enough time in the day. But I have sort of formed a kinship with many of you, and just, I feel I can talk about pretty much anything. And, well, you're a captive audience, let's be real, while you're here anyway. And I took this opportunity to talk about something that I didn't have anyone else in my private life that I could discuss this sort of thing with. And so here you are. And I took the opportunity to, talk to you about it. Some fun colors, don't you think? Sort of that orangey black. I'm really glad that I added the walnut shell because it adds this nice dark variation. Now these will lighten up, I know, quite substantially, which is why I added the alternating color. Right now, it kind of has an orange color, but that will fade in the days ahead. Aren't those some fun swirls? I'm just trimming off the very ends. There we go. Just to give us a nice clean cut. Nice smooth edges. But I want to thank you for allowing me to talk a bit. I know it's boring hearing other people talk about their work and those kind of issues, and I promise that I will work harder in my upcoming videos to talk about something more cheerful, something more positive, okay? I promise I will make an attempt. At the same time as making this video, I'm going to be editing 2 videos at once. There's this one, and I'm doing a suds test of 3 soaps, so it may be sort of in the vein of this video. Isn't that funny? Because I'm writing in your past, and I'm not sure what you're seeing first, this video or the other one. Depends on what I've decided to upload first. But one of the things that I can say is that being able just to talk to the camera like this has made me feel much better. It's put things more in perspective for me. I'm not so hurt now. I've given it more thought, and I've come to realize that whatever the person's motivation, it may not have been to do me harm. They could have been venting out because their job is difficult, and maybe they thought for whatever reason that mine was easier, or that I had time to do other things that they didn't have time for. And it could be a type of jealousy, or I don't know. I really don't know. That's all guessing, but I'm just trying to find a way in my mind to be the devil's advocate, as it were, to try to give them the benefit of the doubt. And, maybe they didn't really mean any harm. That's a possibility, that they just had a bad day and decided I was a good person to put the blame on. I don't know that. I'm guessing. It can be really hard to know people's reasonings, can't it? Sometimes they're in pain themselves. Something difficult has happened in their own lives, and they don't know how to deal with it. And so maybe sometimes they take it out by deflecting on others. And I have sympathy for that, because I've been in a similar situation in my own life. I don't know that I blamed others, but certainly where I had some real sadness and difficulty in my life, and it would have been nice to have had someone else to deflect on, as it were. But I just think these came out pretty nice. I'm very happy with them. They smell really good. They do. And I know that there are packaged scents you can get to emulate oatmeal or milk or honey or whatever. I'm not really sure, but I've seen people talk about them. And I have smelled some soaps, and they're terrific. I think that that's a nice thing. It's just like I have smelled perfumes that smelled similar to certain flowers, but they weren't those flowers. And I can appreciate that. It's sort of like eating a cherry-flavored candy. They're delicious. They don't taste anything like cherries. Real cherries, I think, are much better. Or strawberry candy or watermelon candy. We've all had those, right? But they don't really taste like the real thing. And that's okay. There's no harm in that, in liking both. So I'm not opposed to people that like fragrance oils. But I just happen to think that when you're using just the real thing, and I will say this Manuka Honey does make your soap get really, really hot. And so the tops of some of these have a little bit of cracking on top. I'll have to clean that up. But they smell tremendous. And that's that honey, and I put a lot of honey in it, and there's a lot of oats in here, and of course the only liquid in here is my own fresh goat milk. And quite frankly, I think all of those are just wonderful scents, and I'm very partial, and so I'm very biased about my own. As I think that's okay. It's like everybody thinks they have the most beautiful and intelligent children, right? Okay, well, good. So I've got these finished. I've got them all cut. I enjoyed making these. I needed this. I truly did. I was stressed and I needed to spend some time soaping. I had got behind in my soaping. I'm sold out of some things, and this is one of the ones, is my Manuka Oats and Honey. So I'm glad I remade this. But gosh, thank you all. You are more wonderful than I deserve. And I want to tell you how much I appreciate the fact that if you've remained here and listened to my rant and you're with me, I just want you to tell you that means the world to me, and I don't know how to thank you enough for it. But thank you so much. Have a beautiful day, everyone, and I'll see you back soon. Goodbye.